Hi everyone, here is GigantoGaming and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, you will see my ranking of all the Mr.Coolz past tracks from Morocco Deluxe. Without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, wait a minute! I won't be alone this time. With me, there will be MrCoolz. MrCoolz also wants to give his opinion of all the Mr.Coolz past tracks, so I let him participate in my video. Here is how it will be done. First, there will be my opinion, and secondly, there will be MrCoolz's opinion. And that will be like this until the end of the video. I hope you will like this format, guys. Starting off, the ranking is 3DS Toad Circuit. What I can say about Toad Circuit is that it's a track that functions only in Mario Kart 7. For one thing, this track heavily implies on the discovery of the glider mechanic, but the problem is that in Mario Kart 8, this gliding mechanic is already known, so why bring back this track? We already know what's the gliding mechanic. No need to showcase a stupid track, easy as hell, that only relies on gliding mechanic. Why bringing back this track? Shy Guy Bazaar was right there in Mario Kart Tour. Heck, even Daisy Hills would have been cool.
Alright, hello there, my name is MrCoolz. I'm going to try to make this quick, so this cannot be an hour long video. Anyways, 48, Waluigi Pinball. Pretty mediocre layout. The gimmick is really annoying, and no shortcuts. The theming is pretty cool, but the music is pretty mid. Anyways, the layout, you go through the cannon, and then the layout after that is pretty not that fun to drive on. Then the pinball table is a 5-second straight with technically luck, but I'm pretty sure the pinballs follow a set area thing, set path. So not that big of a deal. But if you get screwed over by items or the pinballs, your race is over.
At the 47th place is Tokyo Blur. Tokyo Blur is simply the worst city track of all time. It is very basic, like extremely basic. It even looks like a Mario circuit in disguise. The highway section is pretty boring, only twomps serve as obstacles and they are extremely easy to dodge. The layout is super easy, the track is kinda bland. Yeah, there's not that much to talk, and that's for a good reason. The track is just boring as hell. Tokyo Blur was a very bad first representation of the city tracks. Fortunately, the other ones are very cool. Even the bad ones, like Paris, etc.
SNES Mario Circuit 3, too many shortcuts. On 150cc it's just boring to play. 200cc, it can be fun, but it's too many shortcuts. I have nothing against bagging. By the way, I'm just saying, there's too many shortcuts on this track. If you try running, you're gonna have a hard time keeping your lead, which is something a lot of people had to learn the hard way.
46. Waluigi Pinball. It's mostly the same reason as MrCoolz. The track is not that fun and enjoyable, and it's really overrated. There is not that many things that are crazy in these tracks. The pinballs are fun, I guess, but that's it.
Right, Moonview Highway. You might be wondering why this is so low. Well, it's because I do not really like the layout of this track. You basically go straight at the beginning unless you want to take the road path for some reason, or unless you want to get double boxes on the very far path. But I just don't find Moonview Highway that fun. The cars can pose a bit of a threat, but everything after the first part, like once you get to the city section, the layout is just so easy, and it favors speed vehicles way too much in this area. It's not very balanced, in my opinion.
45th. SNES Mario Circuit 3. I found SNES Mario Circuit 3 more enjoyable than Waluigi Pinball because in 200cc, the track is actually enjoyable. The shortcuts are so fun to take. The track also possesses a very tight turn, which is super cool. You have to make attention to this turn in particular. Even though it's your typical flat SNES track, which is not that cool, it's actually kinda enjoyable 200cc. I'm kinda surprised of this track.
Tokyo Blur, I'm gonna keep this one short and simple. Music is pretty good. Theming is pretty horrible. It looks very boring visually. The layout is very boring. There's no meaningful shortcuts on the track. They could have really built around the Thwomp gimmick a lot more, and the highway is just like mess. It's horrible. I do not want to play this track.
44th, Sky High Sunday. If you follow my channel since a while, you should know that I hate Sky High Sunday with my soul. The theming is cool and music is cool, but the layout is just horrible. It's literally a novel with tricks. Does that remind you of something? Yes, Excite Bike, and I hate Excite Bike Arena at all. Like, I hate this track at 100%. So seeing the kid of Excite Bike Arena is just horrible. Like, there's nothing good in the layout. Nothing. If only this track had a way better level layout, I would have ranked it much higher. But sadly, because of a dumbass layout that is literally an oval, I have to rank it at this position. And I'm very kind, I could have made it at last position.
Alright, now we're on to Toad Circuit. This one is short, sweet, simple. I like the layout a lot more. I think the shortness of the track really helps the track out. So like if you do manage to bag, you only have like not as much time to bag because it's a very short track. Running on this track can be very fun, although I wouldn't really necessarily recommend it, although it can work out a lot more than on something like Mario Circuit 3.
43rd, GBA Sky Garden. This remake completely killed the track. The track doesn't even look like GBA Sky Garden anymore. I don't talk about the ground, etc. No, I talk about the layout. It doesn't even look like the original version. It looks like a brand new track that the devs make like it's GBA Sky Garden. It doesn't even look like the original version. It looks like a brand new track. What the hell? How in their minds they thought this was Sky Garden from the GBA? It doesn't. It's simply the worst GBA remake of the Mr.Coolz Pass. It's the worst.
Bangkok Rush. I mainly don't like this one compared to the tour version, but like in general, I do not like how this one plays out. It feels not that fun to play at all. Like the part with the bouncy tents, I'm not gonna say the actual name of it, but the part with the bouncy tents, not very fun. Not very fun at all, in my personal opinion.
42nd, Sunset Wilds. Sunset Wilds is a very good desert track for Mario Super Circuit. But the problem with this remake, and I think everyone knows it, is that the main gimmick of the desert has been cut. Originally, the sun was planned to set, so it goes from sunset to night. But this mechanic was cut. Why bring back this track if it's not for implementing the main gimmick of the track? Yoshi Desert was right there in Mercury Tour, without any sort of setting sun, and have a way better remake than Sunset Wilds.
Alright, 3DS Rainbow Road. You might be wondering why this one is so low, you know, in the bottom 8. But I just don't find this gameplay too fun. It's a fairly simple track. The gimmicks are very fun. It's like a gauntlet of gimmicks, but they removed all the shortcuts from the 3DS version. I personally really prefer the music in the 3DS version, although this one is fine, I guess. Not the biggest fan of it. I feel like everything was executed better in the 3DS version because it was the 3DS version, and this track was made for the 3DS version.
41st, Paris Promenade. As a French person, seeing Paris Promenade in Morocco Tour was really cool, so I waited for it in Morocco Deluxe when the Mr.Coolz pass was announced. And this track was okay. The layout is kinda fun, but it's a bit forgettable. Compared to the other CE tracks, this one is kinda bland and forgettable, but it's at least better than Tokyo Blur. I mean, what is worse than Tokyo Blur? Maybe Toad Circuit at best? However, I really like how you can do the lap 3 in reverse. That's really cool. That's something that I love about the CE tracks, is that all the laps change, which makes the track more unique. And I love this. I love the CE track for this. And even in general, the CE tracks are really fun. As a first impression, it could have been done better, but for me, it was nice. I liked it. Paris Promenade is okay for me, I liked it. However, on the French peoples who watch my video, we can tell that this Paris doesn't even look like the one in real life. We can tell this.
Ninja Hideaway. Layout, it's really, really simple. Like, it is like a rectangle. Although, I guess that sometimes the layout can be, pretty challenging. I feel like it wasn't really made with the booster course pass in mind at all. This was definitely made with tour mechanics in mind, because it just does not play well in this game, especially on 200cc. Like, this track is basically, like, if you don't learn the track, oh lord, you're gonna be in a rough state if this ever gets chosen online. Again, no shortcuts. Not inherently bad for the track, of course. You can still have good running tracks, but this one just doesn't execute it that nicely.
40th, New York Minute. New York Minute is okay. I like this track personally. It's at nighttime, which usually the nighttime track I found it really beautiful. I like the Central Park section, it's really nice. However, something that I don't like about this track is something that was added only in Morocco Deluxe. It wasn't there in Morocco Tour, but it's the slippery ground. Why they thought it was a good idea? It makes the track horrible to play. I don't like the slippery ground at all. It's something that I hate. Something sad too is that the cars don't move. I would have loved to see them move. But I guess it wasn't the case in Morocco Tour, so it won't be there in Morocco Deluxe. Other than that, New York is fine, I like it. As the very first CE track in Morocco Tour, it's really nice, and better than Tokyo Blur, which is the second one.
Calamari Desert. This one is just boring and too many shortcuts. It's like a boring shortcut mess. It's kind of like a better version of Dry Desert. I feel like none of the desert tracks really are very high in this game, which is why they should have added Dry Ruins instead of Moonview Highway, but I digress.
At the 39th place, here is Calamari Desert. What a coincidence! MrCoolz placed it at the 40th place, and I placed it at the 39th placement. What a coincidence! I find the track really enjoyable. I especially love the second lap, which can go into the train track, which is really cool. The train can literally jump scare you. Something though that I don't like about this track is that the background is very bland. Like, there is only canyons that are cool, I guess. But other than that, the track is kinda bland. Like, very bland. I guess the desert tracks aren't that crazy. Except the Dry Ruins, of course.
Sky High Sunday, basically like Excite Bike Arena, but I don't know, I find this one a bit better to drive. I do not know why, but I just like to play this one a lot more. I think it's because it has anti-gravity F-Zero physics, which makes it floaty, and it makes it so you can control yourself in the air. And you can also do like cool things like the cut at the end, which I think saves like no time, but still, it's fun enough. Still no shortcuts, but the theming, music, yada yada yada, can all make up for the boring layout and no shortcuts. Well, it can't make up for it because it's in 39, but still. Anyways.
48th, Rosalina's Ice World. Rosalina's Ice World was before Mario Kart 7, pretty mediocre. And even though now in Mario Kart 8 it finally managed to become good, I wanted Pyroplane Pipeline. Not this, especially since it's the 189 ice track we have in this game. Of course I exaggerate, but you get what I mean. That makes Pipe Canyon the only Tour Nitro track to not appear in Mario Kart Deluxe. That ruins the entire reason as to why the Booster Course Pass exists. What the hell? That makes no sense. Plus the camera in Rosalina's Ice World is horrible. It plays horribly. Have you saw the camera of Rosalina's Ice World? It's horrible. It's downright the worst camera I saw in all of the Booster Course Pass. So even though Rosalina's Ice World is now good, if only Pyroplane Pipeline was there instead of this.
Rock Mountain. This one, visually very bland, music pretty, it's fine. The gameplay is just really where this hurts, because the gliding is not very fun in this game. Now, they did try to add stuff to make it more interesting, like the pipes, which I guess they didn't add, but the pipes definitely make it much more interesting, and the shortcuts at the end make it interesting. But if you're in the middle of the pack, you're just gonna get passed by the people in the back. So is it really? I don't know.
37th, Peach Gardens. I am very nostalgic about this track. I remember playing it back in Mario Kart Wii, and in Mario Kart Wii, and even Mario Kart DS, it was okay. I mean, it's not the DS track people will think about, but Peach Garden is fine. But the Tour remake and the A Deluxe remake, since the A Deluxe remake is a Tour remake, is beautiful. What I can say? Peach Gardens got a massive upgrade. It looks beautiful. All the vegetation looks beautiful. Like, what is super ugly in Peach Gardens in Mario Kart Deluxe? It looks fine. Peach Garden looks fine. I love it in Mario Kart Deluxe, especially the lap 3. Even though I see people mostly hate the lap 3, I personally love it. I love how you do the lap 3 backwards. I find it super interesting, and it adds a good plot twist to the track. So personally, Peach Gardens, I like it.
Alright, 37, DK Mountain. DK Mountain, it's not DK Summit, and we're gonna explain why once we get to DK Summit. Though, DK Mountain, it's fairly boring, although you can get some fun races out of it. The gimmick isn't very good. Like, there's 3 boulders, one of which is just so out of the way that is it really counting as an obstacle at that point? Yes, it is, but still. It has a couple shortcuts. You can take the last ramp and you can go over the mountain. I'm not sure if Giganto will edit in a clip. I'm not sure if he even knows what I'm talking about. Also, you have the gap jump, and you have the little mud shortcuts at the beginning that save like no time.
36th, London Loop. London Loop is quite a hard map. It possesses a park section with a jump that detaches himself at the third lap, which is kinda cool. But other than that, London Loop is quite confusing. Its minimap is hell. Its minimap is super confusing, and the route in general is pretty mediocre. The foggy sky is not that beautiful, to be honest. At least the track isn't as forgettable as Paris Promenade, for example. That's a good thing, I guess.
Alright, New York Minute, Slippery Road. I hate the slippery road. Feels so bad to play. Although it can also feel kind of fun to play. There's like no shortcuts, although the music, theming, the whole overall aesthetic, so much, it's very nice.
35th, Rock Mountain. Rock Mountain is a track I really enjoyed back in 3DS. So seeing it in the MrCoolz Pass was incredible. And I was slightly disappointed. I knew it would be the tour version, but I hoped that the track would be kinda cool visually. But the rocks are very bland. They are very bland. The ground and grass is okay, but the rocks, which is like 80% of the track at brand minimum, is just very bland. It's very bland, which is really sad. But overall, I like the track, especially the music of it, which is a banger.
Paris. It's boring. That's all I can really say about it. It's boring. Next track.
34th, Mary Mountain. For Mary Mountain, the only downside I have about it is the level layout, which looks like a rectangle. It looks like a rectangle. But other than that, I like the track. I like the Christmas feeling that the track have. It's really beautiful for me. And all the decoration present around the track is really beautiful. It gives even more the Christmas feeling with all the presents, etc. I like also the end section where you have to drive down the mountain to go to the surface in the village. I like this personally. Yeah, other than that, there's not that much to talk about Mary Mountain. It's like Rock Mountain, but better.
Alright, Daisy Circuit. Daisy Circuit is... It's fun. It's fun to drive. But it's very tight. Like, it's definitely very rewarding if you know how to play the track. But, it's very tight. There's no shortcuts. The music, I'd say it's fine. I've never been the biggest fan of it in the first place, but I know some people would absolutely eat this song up. Like, people go crazy over this. Like, especially the chords. Like, not the chords, the strings. The strings are, very, very, very elegant. I like how they sound.
33rd, Los Angeles Laps. That might seem weird, but I really like Los Angeles Laps. I love the beach section and the stadium and the baseball stadium part. I find it really cool. The only random thing for me is the oil station, but okay, it's cool. I like the split paths in it. I would have loved that they kept the sunset from tour, but I'm used to the daytime of Mario Kart Deluxe. Though the thing I love the most about the Deluxe version is the jazz remix. It's perfect. It's perfect. Way better than the tour version, which was really bad. The music in tour was really bad. Fortunately, the one in Deluxe fixed it.
Sydney Spring. Now, you may think I really don't like Tour because of all the city tracks at the bottom here. There's just a lot of city tracks in the Booster Course Pass. That's it. No hard feelings. A city track is actually my #1 track. I'm just gonna put that out there. Gonna put that out there. I probably should not have put that out there. Anyway, Sydney Sprint, it has some shortcuts, but it really doesn't have anything interesting. Its theme is very boring. Its music is kind of getting to me after a year of playing it in the booster course pass. It's too short. The song is too short. I wish it was longer. Make it more interesting. The layout, actually a very fun layout. The beginning bridge section is kind of boring, but you're getting coins at that point, and all the other times you're taking that bridge section in the opposite direction where the ramps are facing. So, it's fine. It's fine.
3 second, Daisy Circuit. It is simply the best circuit track of Mario Kart Wii. The track is kinda tight, but it gives more challenge for me, which is cool. I absolutely love the sunset. The sunset is so beautiful. The track may be too easy for Wave 6, but it's still a really fun track. I absolutely adore it. It's really enjoyable. I don't get though why they add a stupid ramp at the end of the tunnel. It makes no sense, plus it's kinda ugly, but I accept it. Seriously, this track is seriously underrated. It deserves way more love. But as a Daisy track, I think another one surpassed it. We will see what track it is later on. Oh, and I don't forget the music. The music of this track it's a banger. It's just a banger. The strings are perfect. The music is perfect. Like, there is no flaw with the music. Everything is perfect.
Vancouver Velocity. Now, you may be wondering why this one is also so low, but it has the slippery physics in New York Mini, except it's used so horribly here because it's basically like it makes it really hard to take the turns at the final sections, especially coming out of the stadium, which already is not a very good part. Like the exits to them are very cramped. The stairs do not function at all, and like the inner stadium part just really isn't that fun. Getting the item boxes from the Shy Guys is kind of annoying. The Shy Guys themselves, you can call this a skill issue, but they are very annoying to avoid. They're not hard to avoid, they're just very annoying to avoid, especially because of the ice physics in there in a very cramped space. And the way they tried to use all the routes in the stadium exits just does not work at all. Other than that, pretty fun track. Lap 1 is very nice. Lap 2 starts off really nice. Lap 3 has never really been good. Like Vancouver Velocity, don't kill me. 3 has never been very good. But there's my Vancouver Velocity rant. It looks good music.
Very first, Daisy Cruiser. Here is the better Daisy track. This track is absolutely gorgeous. It looks beautiful. The cartoony style fits perfectly Daisy Cruiser actually, and that's really cool. I absolutely adore the moving table part. It looks so beautiful. The music is perfect. It's a banger. It fits perfectly the tropical vibe. It's just perfect. I love the addition of the free Goombas in the pool. It's just funny. It's funny to see them like roaming around the pool like this, just chilling. I would love to be like them. I love the addition of the spectators in the moving table part, like they're just chilling, roaming around. Meanwhile the tables are moving. This is beautiful. I like it. Overall, Daisy Cruiser is really cool. I love it. I absolutely love this track. The GCN representation is perfect. I love it.
Mary Mountain. this could have been such a good track if it wasn't for the 8-second straight at the end. Now, you do have some spin boosters, things to keep you interested, but it just really isn't fun at the end. I mean, it's kind of fun, but the gameplay isn't good. Now, everything before that, amazing. The gameplay, so fun, except for the final section. Everything else, really good about the track.
30th, Riverside Park. Riverside Park is simply one of the best GBA remakes I've ever saw. At first, when I saw the tour trailer, I didn't recognize Riverside Park at all. It was so different, yet so beautiful. It even got a better remake than Lakeside Park in Mario Kart Tour. That's for telling you. I understand why they choose Riverside Park instead of Lakeside Park. The remake of Lakeside Park is okay. It's just okay here compared to Riverside Park, which is just a banger. The music too. The music is incredible. I love it. So yeah, in total, Riverside Park is just incredible. I'm happy it got back in Mr.Coolz Pass. It's just a banger. Like, what can you say else for Riverside Park? The only downside is that it's very short. But other than that, there is nothing. Riverside Park is just incredible. It's beautiful. It's perfect. I love Riverside Park.
DK Summit. And DK Summit is just a better version of DK Mountain. Now, the gap jump is worse than DK Mountains, but, and that's a huge but, the gimmicks more than make up for that. So, like, DK Summit plays around the half pipe gimmick, which makes this track very fun and memorable. It doesn't just throw in half pipes just to get items or something. The boulders aren't there because they aren't needed at all. And then at the end, you have the little Shy Guy things. Snowboarding Shy Guys, which pose as a little challenge, you know? And then you have the little corner cut. I think the worst part of this track is the gap jump. It's not very fun to do. And it's way too easy to get the double.
Alright, 29th, Bangkok Rush. I won't make any kind of joke about the name. So, Bangkok Rush. More like Bangkok Rushed. Look at the sky. It's horrible. It's worse than the tour version. And they even removed things from the tour version, like the ink piranha plants and a tuk-tuk at the end of Bangkok Rush 2. No, 3. Wait, is it 2 or 3? I think it's 2. Oh wait, never mind. Other than all those bad changes, Bangkok Rush is really fun. The parking lot section is really fun, especially after that when you have to trick off tents. That's really cool. The first lap is obviously really cool, with the market section, the small war section with all the boats, which you can trick off of them, which is really cool. Bangkok Rush is really fun. It's really fun to drive on. Unfortunately, it's worse than the tour version because of those stupid changes.
Anyways, Riverside Park, fairly short track, but there's just way too many shortcuts for its length. But its music and theming, very good. I like how it looks. And the gimmick, I was really hoping that they'd add a gimmick to this one from Mario Kart Tour, because, you know, Mario Kart Tour didn't have the patooies. I'm so glad they added the patooies. Such a nice track. I mean, such a nice gimmick. The track, not so much, but it is at number 29. So, I don't know, maybe it is kind of nice.
28th, Choco Mountain. Choco Mountain is simply one of the best N64 tracks I've ever saw, and the remake is incredible. I mean, the original version was still really good, so the remake, the true remake is incredible. I love the gliding section that was added with a small cut bridge. It's really cool, I love it. The cave with all the crystals are so good. And of course, the part with the boulders still here. I love it. Like, what could be done to make Choco Mountain better? The original version was still really good. So this remake is really good. Of course it will be really good. So yeah, Choco Mountain, still really good. I love it. Oh, and the music is of course a banger. Like almost all the music from the BCP, if not all.
Daisy Circuit, very, very nice track. The only downsides about it is that the long straight at the end. This is an example of a running track done nicely. I also don't like how they tilted the minimap, but I was waiting for it. I was expecting it.
27th, DK Mountain. I love this track. I love how you glide through the main ground to the volcano and and just drive through down the mountain and restart it. I love this. DK Summit may be a bit similar to DK Mountain, but that doesn't stop me from loving the track. I love DK Mountain, it's incredible. It's a very fun experience. I love the addition of half-pipes that was made in Mario Kart 3 that makes the track even better. The only downside I can think about DK Mountain is the turns. The turns feels like it was made for Mario Kart Double Dash only. It really feels like. Oh, and the gap jump is obviously really cool. It's super well made, I love it. And the music is also really cool. It's a banger, it fits super well a jungle.
Wii Rainbow Road should have been lower. But there are some very minor shortcuts. I personally just really like this one more than 3DS Rainbow Road. Why? The music is better, the visuals are better, the gameplay is better, and it's longer. It's harder, I just personally prefer this overall package. I think the biggest mistake of this, though, was the low gravity. It works for like the plaza area with the two holes, but everything else after that should not have low gravity.
26. Ninja Hideaway. Very cool track. I love the theming, music, the cherry blossom trees. This track is really good. I love it. The only downside I can think about it is just the controls of the track. Well, what I mean is that this track is made for Mario Kart Tour. This track was made for Mario Kart Tour. It was not made with Mario Kart Deluxe in mind, especially in TRACKS. It's just horrible to play on. You'll have a rough time in this track if you don't know it. Even I struggle with it. in TRACKS. The track is horrible to play in TRACKS. It showcased that it was made for Mario Kart Tour in mind, not Mario Kart Deluxe. That's the only downside I think about it. Everything else is just super well made.
Peach Gardens. This one is fine, but it suffers from one huge major thing. The backwards lap. Everything else is so good. I'm so glad they got rid of those annoying grass patches. But the backwards part. So like, the huge shortcut at the beginning that was good because it was at the beginning? Well, now it's at the end. And you know how the beginning is fairly claustrophobic. It's fairly tight. You don't have a lot of room. Now it's at the end. I think you see what I'm getting at here. Everything else, nice. That's just like the only takeaways. That's if it didn't go backwards, this could have been so much higher.
"25th, GBA Bull Lake is simply the second best GBA remake I ever saw. I was happy I brought back in Mario Kart Tour, so seeing it in the Booster Course Pass was just incredible. It was obvious that it was gonna be in anti-gravity, and I am happy that it is. And finally, GBA Blue Lake finally have a lake, because before in the GBA it wasn't the case. It was like empty, without any sort of lake, which was ridiculous to say the least. The music fits perfectly the vibe, while GBA Blue Lake in Morocco Deluxe is just incredible. I love this track. Please Nintendo, bring it more often in the future Mario Kart games. It's just the second best GBA remake. Even though I would like Broken Pier to appear more often too.
Amsterdam. Nothing too interesting. The gameplay pretty nice. The music, absolutely amazing. The visuals, you have the flower section. Other than that, the visuals pretty good. I think the biggest flaw, again, is at the end. Instead of you taking the rest of Amsterdam 3, the game just decides just end the track early. I feel like this track could have been so much better if you just took the rest of Amsterdam 3. There's a shortcut at the end. You don't have to take these awkward turns. You interact with the train again, which I think is a really cool gimmick that was underused. I think this track could have just been so much better. And when you're going into the transition to Amsterdam 3, the train is always in your way on 200cc. It's so annoying. Anyways.
24th, DS Mario Circuit. You may be wondering, why is a circuit track so high? Well, it's simply because the remake is incredible. The remake is incredible. I love the newly added forest section with a wiggler. It's just so cool. Honestly, when I saw this track in the trailer, I just laughed. Because Airship Fortress wasn't there. And it was kinda obvious looking back at it. It's kinda obvious that Airship Fortress will not come into Wave 4. Like, it's Wave 4. An easy wave. Did you really thought Airship Fortress could come? Just no. Oh, and we can't forget the fact that DS Mario Circuit is the second best Mario Circuit, along with 3DS Mario Circuit. It's just very technical compared to all the other ones. It's very cool. It's a very cool circuit track. I love it. So yeah, DS Mario Circuit, banger of a track. I love it, even if it's a circuit track.
The Sunset Wilds. You may be wondering, why is this so high? Even with the lack of the sunset, this track still manages to be pretty fun. I feel like it's underscaled a little bit. It could be scaled up a little bit, but I really like the gimmicks. Except the mud section is kind of annoying, but the speed boost section, where you speed boost through the mud, pretty nice. The Shy Guy section, pretty nice. Everything after that is kind of like there, but I think the track really does a nice job with the gimmicks, and it also makes it kind of hard because you have to like navigate through the gimmicks and the shortcuts, because there's a good amount of shortcuts on this track, but you have to navigate between them. And that's probably why it's so underscaled. So the shortcuts aren't completely free, but I still wish they were scaled up a little bit. It was scaled up a little bit more.
23rd, Koopa Cape. The only downside I have about Koopa Cape is that the scaling is bad, and it's really visible in the river section. The river section is claustrophobic as hell. Like, it's very tight. It's too much tight, which makes it horrible to drive on. Other than that, Koopa Cape is just incredible. It's still really good. The music of the river section is just a banger. I mean, Koopa Cape music is a banger, so why wouldn't it be a banger? So yeah, Koopa Cape, banger. Even if if the tube section is now underwater, I still like it. So yeah, Kuba Cave, banger as always.
Choco Mountain, a pretty mediocre track, I'd say. There's nothing really too special about this track. It's just here just to be here. That's it. There's nothing that this track does wrong, but nothing that this track does right at all. The music, I just really don't like the music. The music, not that good.
22nd, Waluigi Stadium is simply one of the best scene track, if not the best one we ever had. It's so beautiful. Look at the graphics, look at the texture, etc. It's beautiful as hell. The change from sunset to night was a bit weird, but it's really cool. I like it. It makes the track even more beautiful. I love the new addition of the anti-gravity platforms. It gives another piece of challenge, which is super cool. I waited for it, and now finally being able to play it, it's just incredible. It's just a banger of a track. Oh, and as always, the music is a banger. Like, the Mr.Coolz Fast team made a serious good job with the music.
Snowland. The gap jump exists. Other than that, I think it's a very fun track. It has shortcuts. It has everything you'd want in a track. The moving item boxes are cool. The penguins are cool. Really nice track. Really nice what they did with it. And fun fact, this track, its render date was 9 days before the Wave 6, the Wave 3, I mean, when did this come out? Wave 2 trailer, which means this track was done in under 9 days. Pretty cool.
21st, Amsterdam Drift. I mostly have the same positives as MrCoolz, but I have something in plus. It's the underwater section. I love it. It's really fun to do, very technical. I personally love it. And for the negatives, I have the same as MrCoolz, the flower section in the third lap. Other than that, Amsterdam Drift, I love it. The music, banger.
Piranha Plant Cove. I think this track very clearly is hurt by the underwater physics on lap 1, where you're just diving into the water. Although there are some really cool nisks there. It isn't as the first time it happens, like once you get off the ruins and you go into the underwater section as you're about to go into the little island. It's not that bad. But then once you go into like the water from the gliding section, that turn is like so janky. I don't know if Giganto will put up a clip, of course. I think I've made this thing 2 times. I think it was with DK Mountain. But that turn is just so janky. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
20th, Snowland. The best GBA remake. It's the best one. Like, you can't argue. It's the best GBA remake. This track have the most perfect level layout. It is the same as the original, but even better, because now it has elevation, and the remake is so good. The remake is so good. Like, wow. The penguins are cool, the ice is cool, the snow is cool. What am I even saying? Wait, no. The penguins are cool, the gap jump is very cool. Like, seriously, what is bad with Snowland? What is bad with Snowland now? Oh, and yes, the render date of Snowland is dated 9 days before the Wave 2 trailer, meaning that Snowland was the last track to be finished. That's why Wave 2 takes so long to come. It's because of Snowland. It had to be finished. Because before, it wasn't finished at the time. So yeah, Snowland, banger of a track. I totally validate it. It's the best GBA remake ever.
Is Mushroom Gorge. Again, I haven't really learned super bouncing, but even with that, this track still is very well designed. Very, very cool. You still have the gap jump for the experienced players and the super bounce tech for the experienced players, but it's also fun for casuals with the wacky theming, music, the shortcut at the end and the shortcut at the beginning. I think it's very a very nicely made track. It introduces the gimmick with the first mushroom, and it puts a twist on it with the green mushrooms. It introduces the green mushrooms, then it challenges you with the full gorge of mushrooms, the full cave of mushrooms, where you can just explore. You can see what the blue mushroom does. I think it's a very nice track design. I think the track definitely is an A+ in terms of track design. They did a very good job.
19. DS Room Ridge. The best DS track. It's the best one. Like, seriously, it's the best one. The glow up is very huge. I love it. Okay, I know it's wave 1. Wave 1 is ugly looking. Okay. But something to compensate this is the music. Have you ever heard the music of Shroom Rage the Mr.Coolz Pass? Seriously, it's a banger. Like, seriously, if you don't tell it's a banger, what the heck is wrong with you? Like, it's the best banger of the DS tracks. Like, wow. I am genuinely surprised by how good the remix is. I know, before DS Room Rage was revealed in Wave 1, I totally forgot the existence of Shroom Rage, but now it is one of my favorite tracks in the Booster Course Pass. That's for telling you. So DS Shroom Rage banger, one of the best tracks. I love it.
All right, Coconut Mall. This is a running track done extremely well. What do I have to say about this? The moving cars at the end, although it isn't the original, they did make it less annoying. So I will give them props, and they did make the Shy Guys commit felonies. Like they do little Tokyo drift donuts. That's what I'm trying to say. The gimmick is really fun. It's a fairly complex track, even with its simple layout. I think it rightfully deserved its spot in Wave 1. I think it rightfully deserves its spot in the Booster Course Pass as a whole. The music is a downgrade from the Wii version, though.
18th, Berlin Byways. Berlin Byways is simply one of the best CE tracks of all time. That's it. Yeah. I say it directly, it's one of the best CE tracks of all time. The best point about the track, like really the best one, is of course the music. The music is a banger. To put it simply, it's a banger. Like, it's the best, like it's like the third best song of the CE tracks at bare minimum. That's for telling you. The track in itself is okay. It's very fun. I especially love the traffic that is present all around the track. It's really cool. I love it. I love the worms present in the Berlin Wall. It's really cool. They serve as good obstacles. I like it. And yeah, Berlin Byways in general is just a very fancy track. It's like very fun. It's really one of the best. And even one of the best tracks in Morocco Date in general. Guys, you should really play this track seriously. It's really fun.
LA Laps. Although this music sucks, I hate this song. The tour version is so much better. Everything else is much better, except for maybe visuals, where the oil field looks horrible. and the oil field looks horrible. That's probably like the worst looking part of this track. They added a half pipe which doesn't function correctly, and the shortcuts at the end give you a lot of anxiety if you're running the track, because those are like, actually, there are way more shortcuts than that. There are way more shortcuts, but I think this is a nice mix of shortcuts, no shortcuts, at least for this track length. The straight at the end of lap 2 can be annoying, but it's fine. The pump jacks, really cool gimmick, in my personal opinion. Although they don't squish you. They should have squished you.
17. SNES Bowser Castle 3. Simply the best SNES track ever. Like, for real. The remake is just perfect. It's perfect. There is really nothing wrong with the remake. I mean, the only downside is that the track is kinda short and easy, but it's an SNES track. Don't think it will be like the hardest track of all time. It's an SNES track after all. But even then, even if it's an SNES track, the remake is so good. It feels like a GBA track. Seriously, the track is incredible and it deserves a ton of love. SNES Bowser Castle 3 is definitely one of my favorite tracks in of the MrCoolz pass.
London Loop. This one has the perfect balance of shortcuts and no shortcuts. It's a fairly long track. It's one of the longest city. It's the longest city track in the game, I believe, and it's one of the longest tracks in the game. Period. I think, maybe. I'm not really sure. I don't necessarily remember. I think Wee Rainbow Road definitely takes the cake here, obviously, but London Loop is a fairly long track, and it has a good amount of shortcuts along with that. And I like how the shortcuts aren't insanely overpowered either. Like, there's one at the end, which is also on lap 1, but it isn't directly at the end, and there's still item boxes after it. So you still have a chance to come back, and you still have a chance to punish people if they do take the shortcut without any protection or anything.
16th, Sydney Sprint. Simply one of the best city tracks. The track really shines because of its music. I mean, the music is just perfect. Again, it's a banger. Seriously, wow. For representing Australia, the music of Sydney Sprint is just incredible. Like, wow. The track in itself is fine. It's a very cool city track. I love the shortcuts present in the track, especially the ones at Act 2. It can give a very cool advantage compared to the others if you have the mushrooms and how to use them perfectly. This is very fine. The graphics in itself are okay. I mean, it's still visible that there is true art style, but it's fine. I mean, the sea isn't ugly as hell compared to, let's say, Toad Circuit. So, Sydney Sprint, banger of a track, I like it. Especially lap 2. Lap 2 is very cool. Sydney Sprint, excellent.
Sky Garden. Now, you may be wondering, why is this one so high? Well, I like the amount of shortcuts on the track, although the ending one is a bit obnoxious. Like, it just cuts off a little bit too much. So if you're running on the track, it's kind of like, why am I here if I'm just gonna get passed? You know? Nothing against people that bad, though. You know, it's just kind of thought. Like, why have that so close to the end? Like, I like what Rosalina Ice World did it. I like what Rosalina's Ice World did much better. But we'll get to that in a minute. Anyways, Sky Garden, it's less boring. That's why this is so high up. They made it better than the original because it's less boring. And they also, it's just much more entertaining. Has some missed anti-gravity potential like Waluigi Pinball, but I think that's a given.
15th, Squeaky Clean Sprint. The main reason I put Squeaky Clean Sprint at this place is that it suffers a bit the same problems as Ninja Hideaway. What I mean is that this track, well, it's visible that it was made for more culture in mind. Like, it's really visible at the beginning of the track. Remember at the beginning there is like 3 different paths. One of them which requires to trick off a palm tree, a fake palm tree, yeah? Well, it's this part, it's visible that it's made from hardcore tour because you can literally hit a wall and get stuck before you drive backwards and get to the main road. It's visible. The track, it's visible that it was made from hardcore tour in mind. But other than that, the track is incredible. The idea of making a track in a giant bathroom in itself is just wow. I mean, who thought about that?
Maple Tree Way, another track that did running very well. It's a fairly long track, so it gives you time to come back even if you fall behind, similar to Wee Rainbow Road, except this time it has a shortcut at the beginning, which can also be taken shroomless so you can get good items, and then you can zoom back to a slightly worse position that you were in before. So I think a fairly nice track. There's nothing very wrong with it. It's fairly difficult, especially the turn with the half pipe on 200cc. Gives me nightmare.
14th, Mushroom Gorge. Perfectly well designed. I love the shortcuts that you can take, the massive gap jump at the end, the cave with all the mushrooms, and even the blue one present in Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart Tour. It's just perfect. The bounciness of the track and the music gives a wacky vibe, which I love. And the track in itself is a bit complex, even for a Mushroom Cup track. Seriously, Mushroom Gorge, banger of a track. I love it. The music, the environment, the theming, everything is perfect. Even if it's in Wave 2 and the graphics in Wave 2 aren't the best of all time, I just don't care about this. The track in itself is perfect.
Alright, SNES Bowser Castle 3. Another example of a somewhat running track done well. Now it has a couple of off-road patches, but they don't really do much. The layout is just very fun. The music is mid, but the theming is very good. It's the only retro Bowser Castle in the game, and I'm glad we got it over 3DS Bowser Castle, or N64 Bowser Castle, or literally almost any other Bowser Castle except for Wii Bowser Castle, because that one is actually pretty fun. Actually, DS Bowser Castle, not that good. Whatever.
30th, DK Summit. Another example of a perfect track. Even the half-pipes, which are totally buggy and broken in this version, are really cool to take. Like, you can do some crazy shit with them. The track is perfect. Like, I know it's similar to DK Mountain in terms of how you play it. Like, you go to the top of the mountain to just drive down but it's perfectly designed. Like, really. The gap jump is back. The gap jumps are back, which is perfect. The snowboarding Shy Guys are back too, which is perfect. Like, the track is literally just the Wii version, but better. The track is incredible. And fortunately came back in Wave 4. I was waiting for it for a long time. So seeing it in Wave 4 was incredible for me. DK Summit, I love you.
Anyway, Singapore Speedway. This one did not quite crack the top 10. I know Giganto is going to be devastated over that. But Singapore Speedway, it has that one long straight. And I think that is the thing holding it back, other than lap 2 literally just being the Chinatown. It's a really short track. I think it had a lot of missed potential. Like, a huge amount of missed potential.
12, Parallel Plant Cove. The best, no, one of the best true non-CE tracks, and it's the only one to possess 3 variants. It has been done correctly. The water physics can lead to some crazy shortcuts. Lap 1 is fine. I like how you go to the beach, to a small town or something, I don't know, to go back to the ancient ruins. Lap 1, well, it's Parallel Plant Cove. Lap 2, sorry, it's Parallel Plant Cove 1. It's really cool, I love it. And lap 3, I don't know which lap I prefer. I would say 2 or 3. 1 is the one I like the least. But honestly, Parallel Plant Cove is the most unique non-CE track because I have 3 variants compared to all the others, and that's incredible. I love it. Parallel Plant Cove is definitely one of the best true track. Like, for real, I love this track so much. I'm literally addicted for it. So, Parallel Plant Cove, I love it. I love this track. And the music is super cool. Even though it's almost the same as the tour version, it's still really fun. Well, it's still a banger, I mean. It's still a banger.
Yoshi's Island, it has the annoying question mark thing. Now, I know, who is it? What's his name? Shortcat? No, it wasn't Shortcat. It's Basic. Basic has gone on continuous rants over this question mark head. He absolutely hates it. Now, I think it's a pretty cool gimmick, but I think it was executed poorly. Now, it should not be stationary how it was in Tour, but I think that the swoops should be less, obnoxious. I think it would make it just way better. Make it move a little bit slower, and that's basically it. It makes it easier for newcomers, makes it easier for people who already know like the strategies to get it, makes it actually possible possible to hit if it's at the peak of its jump. I mean, peak of its little wavy thingamabob. I think it would just make the experience much better. Overall, good layout, fun gimmicks. I like what they did here. Nice shortcuts.
11th, Robanti. Simply one of the best CE tracks I've ever saw. Like, wow, I am deeply surprised. The Coliseum part is just incredible. Like, I love it. Not the first one at the first lap, no, but the one at the third lap with the chain jumps. This is very scary, to be honest. The chain jump can quite literally jump scare you. This is actually pretty sick. I love it. But the lap 1 version is also really cool. To be honest, it's so really cool. Lap 2 of this track is kinda okay. I mean, it's not the best of all time. I prefer easily lap 1 and 3. But lap 2 is also pretty sick, especially with the park section. I love it personally, even though it's quite short. The music of Romanti is, like, for me, romantic. I don't know why, it's romantic for me. I love it. I love everything that is quite romantic or some kind, so Romanti is perfect for me. I love it. I could have put it in the top 10, but I feel like other tracks deserve it. So Romanti will take the 11th place. I love this silly track, especially the ambience of it, with this night sky.
Boo Lake, very, very short track. Only one shortcut in this track. But the layout is just so fun to play. The atmosphere, the theming, everything just so nice to play in the game. This track is probably why Wario Shipyard didn't get in, which would have been another pretty good running track, but still, a very nice track. Basically Ghost Valleys, but better.
Guys, we just finished the 11th place. Do you know what that means? Yes, we're finally in the top 10. Before you know my top 10 and the one from MrCoolz, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel, click the bell to be notified of new videos, and leave a like on this video. That will help me a lot. Now, let's continue. Number 10, Maple Treeway. If you follow my channel since a while, you know that I worship Maple Treeway like hell. Like, seriously. You know that I'm born in autumn, so seeing a track based on autumn and you can drive through giant trees, etc., you know that I'm going to love this track. And this track didn't disappoint me at all back in Morocco 3. It was incredible. So seeing it in wave 3 instead of wave 6, because originally it was planned to be in wave 6, it was so incredible. It was excellent. I was sad for Morocco Double Dash, but I mean, I didn't care much. I prefer Morocco 3 anyway. So, wow. And this track in Morocco Deluxe didn't disappoint me at all. It was incredible, and it's still incredible. The shortcut at the beginning can even be done shroomless, which is super cool. Seriously, Maple Treeway is just incredible. What can I say else about the track? The wigglers that are present in the treetop, the half-pipe which makes its return for the first time in Morocco Deluxe. Finally! Maple Treeway is just incredible. I am sad for the net bridge that got cut, but I mean, at least there is a gliding section, so why not? Maple Treeway, still perfect to this day. I love you, Maple Treeway, I love you.
Waluigi Stadium. Waluigi Stadium is it's very fun. On 200cc it can be like kind of mid, but it's very fun. I like what they did with the anti-gravity things, even though they're slower. But this track has always been fun, so I don't know why you'd expect less. I like how it isn't sunset anymore. I like the night theme better. It goes so much better with the purple, and I think what they did with the track and the revamp, very nice. We already knew this one was coming, actually, through the banner leak and through the pre-fetch leak. I think it's just something that I should point out, even though most people already know it.
9th place, Athens Dash. I love this city track. It breaks the theme of a city tracks and instead it makes us go through ancient ruins. The famous ancient ruins of Athens. This is wow. Like it's one of the few city tracks to make us go through ancient ruins. The second one is Roranti. It's not even close to Athens Dash, which is just ruins. At best, there is the third lap that makes us go a little bit through houses, but that's it. Other than that, it's just ruins. The only downside I have about Athens Dash is, well, you know, the graphics. Some of them are really but other than that, it's just incredible. Athens Dash is just wow. I have nothing against it. Like, it's just too cool. The ruin section, however, is super cool. Like it's highly detailed. Everything is good. It's just the background that is ugh. I mean, could have been a little bit more detailed. But other than that, Athens Dash, perfect. I love it.
DS Mario Circuit is number 9. Now, even though this one has a ton of shortcuts, the gimmicks are so cool. You have the fire piranha plants, you have the little piranha plants at enemies where Peach's castle is, you have the wiggler that never wakes up, you have the two hairpin, are those hairpin turns? I don't know, my brain is farting right now. You have the two very tight turns at the end. Very fun track to play. And the amount of shortcuts just adds on to that. I was playing DS Mario Circuit last night, and they let me get into first with 4 mushrooms. I ended up winning, but one of my mushrooms got stolen, so I wasn't able to take the cut at the end, and I almost got blue shelled. It almost ended in disaster, but I ended up winning.
Number 8, Moonview Highway. MrCoolz, I know you're raging in the background right now, but Moonview Highway is simply the best traffic course in all of Mario Kart history. It combines Mushroom Bridge, Shroom Ridge, Mushroom City, and Toad's Turnpike to give the best experience. Moonview Highway is just incredible. The music is a banger. The city music. The city music. Oh my god. I have no words to describe it. It's just perfect. Moonview Highway, banger as always. I love you, Moonview Highway. I just wished the difficulty were just like the Wii version, but I mean, it's still really fine. Moonview Highway, banger.
Right. DS Room Ridge. Basically, this one has cars, which makes it challenging compared to DS Mario Circuit. Although DS Mario Circuit is still challenging. I think the glider shortcut, very nice. The pipe shortcut, very nice, but there is a risk because you might just ram into a car. Those are the only shortcuts on the track. I thought I was missing one. I'm not necessarily sure, but very fun track to play regardless. I think they did a very, very nice job remaking it. The music is pretty good. Visuals are lacking, but I really like this track.
7th, Yoshi's Island. Simply the best tour non-CE track I ever saw. Like, wow. I didn't thought of a crossover track with Yoshi's Island as a Nitro track from Mario Kart Tour. So seeing it at the Wave 4 trailer was incredible. I knew it was from Mario Kart Tour. I knew the track was Data Mine finished way before Mario Kart Tour. It was finished back in 2022. So seeing it and finally being able to play it was incredible. The track is super cool. The shortcut presents are super cool. I love the when you drive up to the volcano, to the giant cloud. It's just wow. All the little Easter eggs from the Yoshi's Island series. Wow. This game is incredible. Mario Kart Deluxe is incredible. Same for Mario Kart Tour. I will never thought Mario Kart Tour will do this. Truly, this track is wow. The only downside about the track I have is the cloud that leads to that gives you a secret passage. The cloud can be quite obnoxious, but other than that, the track perfect. Best tour non-CE track I've ever saw.
Madrid Drive. We haven't seen a city track in a while. Actually, that was a lie. Actually, not really. It wasn't really a lie. Madrid Drive, amazing layout. Although it still should have been 1, 3, 2. Like taking 2 in the normal direction. I do think 2R may actually play better in this game. Not even joking. Anyways, the layout is really cool. You go through all these different like areas that billowed up into one huge thing. You go through the little market with the thwomps. You go through the little plaza with the toad sitting down and with the big wiggler. You go through the train station with the shortcut. You go through the museum with the piranha plant, but you're only in it for like 3 seconds. You go through the stadium with the footballs. With the soccer balls. They're soccer balls. With the footballs. You have the little area with the shortcut in the with the shortcuts and the Goombas. Like, it just all builds up into one big, special, nice level, I guess you could say. And the layout is just so good. You have like one shortcut every lap. None of them are too overpowered, but they can still help you get ahead in the pack. I think it's just a really nicely put together track.
Number 6, Vancouver Velocity. Wow, just wow. The music. Let's start with the music. They didn't have the right to go so hard. Wow. The music is perfect. The music is perfect. That's for telling you. The music is perfect. Nothing to say. The music is just perfect. Lap 1 of the track is the best one, with the suspension bridge from Vancouver. Just wow. This city track, this city track is just incredible. I understand why Vancouver Velocity love this track so. Vancouver Velocity fans, sorry, love this track so much. Vancouver Velocity fan, if you see this, god dang it, I understand why you love this city track so much. Lap 2 of this track with the park section, the massive shortcut that there is just wow. And the stadium, the how do we call this? The ice hockey stadium. Wow, with the shy guys, just wow. Lap 3 is the weakest one. People hate it, but personally I love it. Vancouver Velocity is just super cool. It mastered its variants to make the best Vancouver experience. Vancouver Velocity, incredible. Vancouver Velocity, much love. Vancouver Velocity fan, if you see this, look at how high I placed the track.
Sweet clean sprint. The only problem with this track is the ending glider. You get hit by it and your race, I wouldn't say it's over, but lap 3 it is most definitely over. That is the only annoying part of it. Everything else really nicely put together. I guess the layout can be a little bit jank sometimes, but it's still very fun to play this track. Hopefully we can get a kitchen track next, because that would be really cool. We already have a bedroom, we have a bathroom, kitchen. It has a lot of potential.
Number 5, Mother Drive. Everything has been executed so perfectly. Everything has been executed so perfectly. Wow. First, the music. Wow. The first variant, you know, the normal variant, the music, the remix, the remix, the remix, the remix. Wow, wow, wow. The remix is perfect. Like, Larry is perfect. Just wow. And for the museum stadium, even though it's the same as the tour version, the music is still a banger. Even Morocco Tour, the music is still a banger. Like, wow. I wasn't ready for Module Drive 2R being the second lap. I thought it would be the third lap, but not the second lap. But even if it's the second lap, it's still perfect. It has been done correctly, to the point where I love it. Because Module Drive 2 is the worst variant compared to the 1 and 3rd. Just wow. Module Drive perfect. Even though the museum lasts like 2 seconds at best, just wow. And the stadium, oh my god, the stadium with the footballs, whoa. With the footballs, the Goomba shoe, everything is perfect. Module Drive is just the second best city track. Like, seriously, this city track, wow. I have nothing to say against it. Like, nothing.
Alright, Rosalina's Ice World. This is in my top 5. And you're probably like, this track sucks. Indeed, it does not. So, the beginning thing, at the beginning, like the little half pipe thing, the camera is kind of jank. But I think that's a given. The half pipes are super fun. The long straightaway isn't necessarily a straightaway. It looks like a straightaway on the map, but it's not necessarily a straightaway. There's still obstacles. Like, you still have the penguins. If you take the top paths, you still have to deal with the holes and the the slippery road. So you have to try not to fall off. And at the end, there's like a couple mild turns. You can trick off the ice at the end, and then if you go inside the water, there's bumps at the end that you can trick off of. There's like pillars in the middle of the road that you can avoid. I'm not sure if the penguins go down into the water. They do. Do they pose as a threat? I don't know. I've never ran into them, which isn't helping my case whatsoever. But I still find the track very fun, especially on 200cc, where the whole straightaway part is heavily neutered. Everything after that, with the cave, it's really beautiful. I really like how that plays, especially with the speed boost section, where you can go with the speed boost, maybe take a risk, maybe if it's trapped, where you can more easily fall off. I've fallen off once out of my like 10, 20 times playing the track, but still, you can still fall off, or you can take the slower, less risky path.
Fourth, 3DS Rainbow Road. The only downside I have about this Rainbow Road is that for a Rainbow Road, well, this track is kinda easy. It's very easy for a Rainbow Road. Like, it's with N64 Rainbow Road. But other than that, the track has been executed so perfectly. People don't really like the road texture. Personally, I love it. Everything has been done correctly. It's like the 3DS version. I remember playing it on 3DS, and I'm happy to see it in MrCoolz Deluxe. You could say the moon looks a bit ugly, but personally, it's not the case for me. I like it. Overall, 3DS Rainbow Road has been executed so perfectly. I love it. Like, wow, it's the best 3DS track in the Booster Course Pass, and even in MrCoolz in general. It's just perfect. It has been executed so perfectly. The remake is so cool. I waited for it since the prefetch leak, with all the prefetch. When I saw 3DS Rainbow Road, I screamed. And now I can finally play it. I can finally play it in HD. I am so happy.
Koopa Cape. This one is very fun. Insanely fun. I'm just noticing city tracks are my top 3. That is crazy. Koopa Cape, very fun. Some say it's underscaled, and the rocks look worse every single time I play the track. But it's just such a fun track to play that I'm willing to excuse it. The music is nice. The theming, it tries. The theming tries. I think I know what it's trying to go for. The visuals, kind of mid, but the track is just so fun. It's so fun to play this track. It has a nice mix of shortcuts, no shortcuts, and I think this track just does really well in general.
Third, MrCoolz Twist Coconut Mall. The best MrCoolz track in existence in my eyes. Like, for real. This track is so cool. Being able to race in a mall, in a shopping mall, with all those shortcuts, wow. The parking lot at the end with all those cars, that gives a very cool challenge. In MrCoolz 8 Deluxe they do some donuts. This is incredible. This track is the definition of a MrCoolz track. The definition of the best MrCoolz track of all time. Even in MrCoolz 8 Deluxe, even if it's wave 1, the graphics may look ugly, this track is still perfect. This track is still perfect to this day. Even MrCoolz 2 version. Even MrCoolz 7 version is great. That's for telling you. Coconut Mall, the best track of all time. I have nothing against it. Even for a Flower Cup track, this track is quite challenging. Coconut Mall, truly incredible. The only thing I want is the escalators. Like, the escalators became true escalators. But other than that, Coconut Mall, perfect.
Berlin Byways, number 3. This one has a very complex layout, has a nice mix of shortcuts, no shortcuts, which I think is what you're going to be hearing a bunch here. I think this is the best traffic course in the series, which is honestly crazy, because 66% of the track is not even traffic. But this track just does it so well. At 2 points in the race, you're going against the traffic, which gives a risk to that very kind of overpowered shortcut that is right at the end. I think that this track just is executed very nicely. The thwomps are kind of, you know, ugh, but other than that, very nice track. It's always a blast to play on it.
Singapore Speedway. Even though this track is short, it's the best city track of all time for me. It's the best of all time. Through, oh my god, what I can explain, like, I have no words. Like, you go in the, oh my god, you go in the top of the Marina Bay Sands to just go back to Chinatown. After that, you go to Chinatown with its unique music. And after that, you go to the third lap. Somehow there's a lap gate. I don't understand why it's there, but I don't care. Like, wow, this city track managed to be so great in Mario Kart Deluxe. I'm addicted to it. When I play Mario Kart Deluxe, I directly launch Singapore Speedway. Like, I don't know why. It's automatic. This city track, even though it's short, it's such fun. This city track is such fun. I cannot explain how great is the track. Singapore Speedway 3, which is the third lap, is the best variant. Like, you go in the Chinatown again to hear the final lap version, which is wow. Like, Singapore, oh my god. I've never been a fan of Singapore before, but now, with Singapore Speedway, I'm such a fan of this city. Like, wow. Best city track of all time.
Athens Dash, or Athens, or however you want to say it. This one doesn't really have any gimmick. It's more of a running track, because there aren't a lot of shortcuts. But oh boy, it makes sure you have a great time on this track. And lap 1 can be kind of mid, but other than that, everything else is pretty nice. Athens Dash 3, or Athens Dash 3, I think it's Athens. Athens 3 is kind of underwhelming, but it's just such a fun track to play. Like, insanely fun track. And I think if you're paying attention, you know what my number 1 is. My number 1 is Rome Avanti. It takes literally... Lap 2 is extremely underwhelming, yet it still manages to be such a great course. It takes out that one road in Rome 1. Possibly because it'd be easier to trap, you throw bombs, it's a very tight straight. So I'm glad they got rid of it. It's so creative. It's very creative. I like the chain chomps biting into the road. The gameplay is very nice. It doesn't feel unfair or anything. It has a nice mix of shortcuts. It has an ending shortcut. Rosalina's Ice World, I forgot to mention they added a shortcut at the end, which basically is exactly what this track needed, which is exactly what Rosalina's Ice World needed. I'm just going to mention that here. Rome, just such a nice track. Very nicely put together. I like the rocky wrenches. I like the fuzzies. Just very good track. Very good track. This is my favorite track in the Booster Course Pass. Now, nothing will beat Super Bell Subway, which is my favorite base game track, but Rome Avanti is a nice second. Alright, we're done. Thank you for watching.
The best Rainbow Road. If it's in Mario Kart Deluxe or in general, it's the best Rainbow Road of all time. Like, wow, I was sure since the prefix leak came out that Wii Rainbow Road will be in. Like, when I saw that a Wii track will be the last track in all of the Mr.Coolz Pass, I knew it. It was Wii Rainbow Road. I knew it was coming to MrCoolz Tour, and I knew it was coming to MrCoolz Deluxe. I just knew it. It was 100% the case. So seeing it in Wave 6, finally, after so long, after 2012, the year I first played MrCoolz 3 for the first time, it's finally here, after so long. I waited for it every single day, and here she is, the best Rainbow Road of all time. Fortunately, they took her instead of GC and Rainbow Road. If it was GC and Rainbow Road, it will be way too easy for Wave 6. Like, way too easy. Even in MrCoolz Double Dash, I never fell once in this Rainbow Road. In MrCoolz 3, however, I fell so many times. Wii Rainbow Road, finally you're in. You're perfect. They kept everything, even the meteorite effect when you fall. They kept everything. It's literally the Wii version but in HD. And that's perfect. And anti-gravity too. It's perfect. Wii Rainbow Road finally in MrCoolz Deluxe. After so long. Wii Rainbow Road is finally here, guys. The best Rainbow Road of all time is here. And what a way to finish off the Mr.Coolz Pass. It's such a perfect way. Wii Rainbow Road, my beloved, you're finally in. And I couldn't wait longer for you. And here we are, guys. This is the end of this ranking. I hope you liked it, everyone. Please do consider smash the like button, subscribe to me for more videos, and click the bell to be notified of new videos. Please, everyone, that would be super cool if you do it for me. Guys, I see you next time.